For the king!
For the king.
For the king!
For the king!
For the King is a hybrid turn-based strategy, roguelike, and tabletop-inspired RPG developed by IronOak Games. First released in 2018, it combines procedural generation, tactical combat, and cooperative multiplayer to create a challenging and replayable gaming experience. Players explore a procedurally generated hex-based map, face randomized events, and engage in tactical battles, making it a distinct entry in the strategy genre. Its unique blend of other genres and stylized visuals has garnered a dedicated player base across various platforms. Up to 3 players can control a party of adventurers who move across the map, taking turns to navigate terrain, encounter enemies, and resolve events. Combat is turn-based, emphasizing strategy and synergy between character abilities and equipment choices. Randomization plays a major role, influencing map layouts, enemy placement, and loot. Turn-based strategy, roguelike, and tabletop-inspired RPG games each bring distinct gameplay elements that appeal to a variety of players. Turn-based strategy games focus on tactical decision-making where players and opponents take alternating turns to execute moves, plan attacks, or manage resources, emphasizing strategy over reflexes. Roguelike games are characterized by procedurally generated levels, permanent character death, and high replayability, often challenging players to adapt to unpredictable scenarios. Tabletop-inspired RPGs borrow mechanics and aesthetics from physical tabletop games, featuring dice rolls or random number generators, grid-based maps, and customizable characters with unique abilities. For the King combines these genres to create a rich, layered experience that blends thoughtful planning, unpredictability, and role-playing immersion. Welcome to Midnight Launch. I'm JD, and today we're going to be taking a look at the game For the King from the perspective of a consumer. Let's get started. Gameplay. The gameplay centers on exploration, combat, and resource management. The controls are fairly simple, mostly pointing and clicking for where you want your character to go, who to attack, and what abilities or items to use. If combat feels too slow, there is the option to speed up the attack and random number generator animations. The gameplay is also really smooth and not buggy. The difficulty progression in the game is pretty fast. There's a time pressure to travel into higher level territory where you might lose a character and have to spend a life. If this causes you any concern, there are other game modes, and you can also tweak the game settings before you start a run-through. Overall, the gameplay is solid, so we're gonna give For the King a 9 out of 10 for gameplay. Replayability. Replayability is a core feature of For the King. It's a roguelike, so when you die and run out of lives, you kinda have to start over. Procedurally generated maps, varied character classes, and multiple campaigns ensure that no 2 playthroughs are alike. Roguelike mechanics mean that a party wipe ends the game. This encourages players to learn from their mistakes and experiment with different strategies. Unlockable content, other story modes, and multiplayer functionality further extend the game's longevity. So considering all this, we're gonna give For the King a 10 out of 10 for replayability. Story. The narrative is relatively simple, focusing on the kingdom of Farul after the death of its king. Players are tasked with protecting the land from chaos, embarking on quests to uncover mysteries, defeat enemies, and restore stability. Each campaign introduces unique scenarios and objectives, providing thematic variety while maintaining the overarching premise of preserving the kingdom. The story is what propels the gameplay. The time pressure mentioned earlier is a way to get players to progress story missions. In this game, story does not appear to be the main point. It's the adventure, just like with any tabletop role-playing game. So, for all this, we're gonna give For the King a 6 out of 10 for story. Fun with friends. For the King supports both local and online multiplayer, allowing up to 3 players to collaborate. Co-op gameplay emphasizes teamwork, as players must coordinate movement, combat roles, and resource allocation. Not everyone can participate in a battle if they're too far away. Dungeons can only be explored if everyone is in the same region, and loot can only be exchanged if characters are next to each other. The multiplayer functionality of this game makes it more fun, as you can experience this adventure with your friends, though the party size is capped out at only 3 players. So, for this, we're gonna give For the King an 8 out of 10 for fun with friends. Technical specifications. For the King is available on multiple platforms, including PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It has modest system requirements on PC, ensuring accessibility for a wide range of hardware and software configuration. Across Windows, Mac, and Linux, the standard is 4 GB of RAM and 3 GB of available hard drive space. As for the other specs, like graphics cards and processors and such, I'm just going to leave a screenshot here as I've already messed up recording myself trying to say these many times, and it's a mouthful, and we all have our limits. So, anyways, these technical requirements make For the King playable on mid to low tier hardware. So, for all this, we're going to give the game a 10 out of 10 for tech specs. Value for money. Priced at $20 for the game, For the King offers significant value for its cost. Its combination of engaging mechanics, high replayability, and cooperative multiplayer justifies its price point. There are so many different ways that you can play this game, and you can also just put in hours and hours trying to beat a single playthrough. You can definitely rack up a good hour per dollar ratio on this game without trying super hard. Steam sales happen frequently, so chances are you can also get a good deal too. For all this, we're going to give For the King a 9 out of 10 for value. Our consensus. Buy it! You don't have to wait for a sale for this game to be worth its cost. Its $20 price tag is affordable. The game has high replayability and customization. You can play it with your friends online, or you can just pass around the controller or keyboard. Either way, For the King is a fun and enjoyable game, so definitely check it out. Thanks for watching this episode of Midnight Launch. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like. Or, if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. If you have any games that you want us to try out, drop it in the comment section. Or if you have any categories that you want us to rate on, feel free to put that in the comment section as well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.